Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And a very good morning. It is a Wednesday. I'm Dave Adams, and this time is the second Wednesday of the month. Normally we have Vet Talk, but my apologies. We had a scheduling, equipment scheduling issue, and we're planning on doing a live broadcast from Portland today on homeless veterans, but we're going to have to reschedule that because of some equipment that we did not have for this morning's broadcast, so my apologies for that. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Victor Coons and Vet Talk will be here once again next month he's going to be in Washington, D.C. getting an honor, so we'll have another program, and then that's that as well. But the second Wednesday of the month is normally slated for Vet Talk, and that will continue, but we will not have it today because of a scheduling issue. What we're going to be having today on Valley Talk is going to be an interview with John Osborn, who's the project manager of the new veterans home in Lebanon, the Edward C. Allworth home. We talked to John this morning about what's going on right now, as of course they've had the official groundbreaking. But what's happening now is they're working with the community in planning for construction of the veterans home, and we talked to him about the veterans home itself. We also, today on Valley Talk, will be talking to Marie Dodds at AAA about gas prices. What in the world is going on with gas prices? And then Rick Rogers will be in the studios from 11:30 to noon today. We're going to be talking about the Samaritan Health Living Well Expo happening this Saturday at Heritage Mall in Albany. Our sister station K-Show will be there, and I'll be there as well, and look forward to seeing you there at this Saturday here at the Heritage Mall in Albany. So that's what's happening on Valley Talk today. Again, our apologies for not having Vet Talk. But we will have the first segment of the show on veterans issues. Also, if you would like to win a Quiznos sub sandwich, in fact, a $10 gift certificate from Quiznos, and thanks to the Dale and the crew there for being a part of Valley Talk, just send me an email at dave@kgal.com. Put Quiznos Taste on Us on the subject line, and we will enter you in the drawing. Or you can call KGAL at 451-KGAL or 926-8683. 926-8683. Say you want to be put into the drawing for a Quiznos Taste on Us. If your name is drawn, you will get a $10 gift certificate for your choice of sandwiches, chips, or drink, for a very, very tasty Quiznos sub sandwich, because the taste is on us and Quiznos. And thanks again for being a part of the Valley Talk program. We video record Valley Talk, so if you miss it, you can go to our website, kgal.com, and watch what people looked like while they were talking on the radio. And that's kind of an interesting thing we're doing. We put it on YouTube and also put it on our website at kgal.com, including this morning's show. This morning's show, we talked to John Osborn about an hour ago because he was on the road, and we wanted to get an update on where we are as far as the veterans home, the Edward C. Allworth home in Lebanon. As far as construction, of course, the groundbreaking has happened, so let's go to that interview. And we're talking right now to John Osborn, a project manager for the Lebanon Veterans Home, the Edward C. Allworth Home. And we're glad to see that going into Lebanon. Glad to see a project like this helping veterans in the Mid-Willamette Valley and I guess overall statewide. So, John, thank you for being on Valley Talk, Vet Talk this morning.
My pleasure.
What is your position there? What do you do as far as the Edward C. Allworth Home?
I'm the project construction manager for the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs.
So are you charged then with just overseeing the construction on site in Lebanon?
Yes, that and other. We have a vet home up in the Dalles, and we've done various work up there as well. So that's kind of where my responsibilities lie.
Where are we in the construction phase now in Lebanon?
Right now we're doing what we call an early work package for the site itself, preparing it with stripping off the vegetation and preparing the site for construction, full-blown construction in the spring. And this basically will put in many of the deep utilities, the rock, the various building sites that will be we're locating of the buildings. And then basically after that, we'll mothball the site for the remainder of the winter. Continue with working on the final construction drawings with the architects, and then at that point, come springtime, we'll begin full-blown construction of all the buildings at that site.
Now, the head of the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs in the groundbreaking ceremony in Lebanon recently said that this home, in some ways, is going to be a model as far as the layout, and I understand the operations of it, for other veterans' homes across the country. Can you speak to that in any way?
Well, part of VA's new vision is to go to what they call a small house model, which is basically creating a instead of the long institutional type hallways and as you would see in a traditional nursing home, this one will have individual houses with 14 residents with the amenities that you would normally find in a residential home, with a kitchen and living room area, patios off of these homes, so that it's more like a home-like setting than it would be a institutional setting, and trying to get rid of those institutional markers that usually permeate a traditional model, and in this way, trying to create, like we say, a more home-like setting. VA has wanted to move that direction, and that's the direction that all the various states have been moving. There's a couple of small house models around the country, but none on the West Coast at this. Well, I take that back. There is one in California, but it's not operating quite yet. They're hoping to get it going here by next fall. But this one here is a little bit different than that. It's what I think would be a true small house model, and operationally, of course, it's a little bit different than the traditional model. However, we still are complying with all the all Oregon administrative rules as it relates to the care of the resident.
So I would assume that would help veterans get acclimated, solve some of the issues maybe with PTSD, or instead of having the institutional barrack-style hospitalization, institutionalization feeling, long hallways, tile on the floors, voices echoing down the hallway. They've got more of an in-home setting where they can kind of land and be at home.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly the idea. Is that you would get rid of that kind of barracks feeling, as you say, and provide a more home-like setting, calmer atmospheres, and more individualized care as well, with from the staff that will be there.
Now, the director of ODVA, when he introduced you to the crowd at the groundbreaking recently in Lebanon, said you were kind of the lightning rod, and you sorry to use that term, but that's what he said. And so people with questions or concerns or want to interface locally with the project talk to you, right?
They do. Yes, correct. Yeah, we've been engaging with the Lebanon community and Lynn County in general through this whole project, and I have to say they have been absolutely fabulous at providing us with whatever we needed. Samaritan Hospital has also been, Samaritan Health Systems has been instrumental in helping us with this project as well, and their cooperation. We see a real great partnership developing with all three of those groups, and hope to continue with it.
So right now you're getting site prep for getting it winterized. Mm-hmm. What are you doing as far as interfacing with the community and the groups that, as you're starting the gear up for completion? When is the project completion expected again?
Again, it's like a 14-month build cycle, so we would anticipate probably mid-2014 to actually begin filling the home occupancy of that home. And then, of course, prior to that, we will be engaging in the community for getting them the information related to applications for residents there. That'll be going out on our website, and we're still developing. There's stuff there right now, but we'll develop a special page for that for the Lebanon home. And then we're doing kind of outreach. We've got a Chamber of Commerce get-together coming up that we're trying to finalize for early November, where we can engage all the local vendors, subcontractors, and so forth. The early work right now has numerous local people being used for the work down there. All the Rock is a local company. It's Harrington Aggregate, I think, is the proper name. That's where all the rock is coming from for this project, and there's tons of rock going down right now. There's a numerous other there's an electrical contractor out of Albany, so we've reached out and tried to engage as many of the locals as possible, and we'll continue to do that. The next big phase coming for construction will certainly have many of the local subs and vendors involved.
So that's what you're doing right now. You've got this meeting coming up in November with the Chamber, and how are you interfacing with the community, for example, today and going forward from this point?
Well, we're trying to keep engaged, certainly through the city and the county, with the commissioners and the local officials in Lebanon. It's difficult to continue to get ongoing meetings since we're kind of in a phase where we're doing design development and other things related to pushing out documents for construction. So we anticipate when asked to come down and speak to various groups. We've done that in the past. The local veterans groups and or service groups around either in Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon area, and so forth. So we've been available throughout to do that, and we continue to be available for it.
How can people get in touch with you if they have questions, comments, want to maybe submit a bid for work on the project?
Actually, they wouldn't be submitting bids to me. It would have to be going through the contractor, Lease Crutcher Lewis. I would probably say if they needed information, they could contact the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs. My number is through that area. I don't know if I should be giving it over the air or not right now, frankly.
Okay, but people can contact Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs and ask to be put in touch with you or somebody involved with the Edward C. Allworth home, the Lebanon Veterans Home.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. I understand you're headed to Lebanon today?
We're going down today and tomorrow. We have some meetings with the contractors and our for this early work package stuff. So yeah.
The Lebanon side, I know the people in the Lebanon community, especially the veterans community, really excited about having this home go in, and it's on I guess we can call it state-of-the-art campus. It's on a fairly new campus that's being constructed with Samaritan Health Services and Western Oregon University or so on and so forth, the right. Health institution out there. So it seems to fit all together. And the nice thing about this whole entire package is it's all new. So it's all state-of-the-art.
Yes, that's correct. Everything is going to be state-of-the-art, and through our design development, we're working through various new products as well to incorporate into the building process. And again, like you said, it's an all-new campus. We are engaging with Western University. We hope to be able to provide geriatric rotations for some of the students there as they move forward. Same thing with the students coming out of the Samaritan Health Systems. They're a teaching institution in conjunction with Lynn Benton Community College down there. So we're hoping that we can provide a real collaborative effort with them. Also, there's the elementary school right next door. The kids have been very involved in doing certain things. We hope to continue that with our community garden program that we're putting in, and pathways around the whole facility that will help to engage the community with the veterans, and I think it'll be a really nice fit for that area.
What about the culture of the area? It's a quiet community, generally speaking, farmland around, nice, peaceful, instead of having us, for example, in downtown Portland.
I think that's the kind of a pastoral setting is perfect for what we're beginning to see as the finished product down there, and it'll work very nicely with the existing campus, which again is trying to fit into that community and provide a nice pastoral and connection to the community that I think everybody will benefit from.
John, anything you'd like to say in closing about the Edward C. Allworth Home, Veterans Home in Lebanon?
Well, we're always drumming for donations, so to speak, for our veterans, those who have given to this country. So we've set up our trust fund. We've had continued donations go into our trust fund for the purpose of the home up in the Dalles and for our new Lebanon home. So if people are so inclined, we certainly would accept donations to help with various portions of the project. And also, like I say, if there's questions, I would be happy to help anyone guide through the system to answer questions either related to becoming a resident of the home, which is a number of years off at this point, but still 2014 is still just around the corner, so to speak, and we hope if someone needs help with that, we'll be happy and are willing to help them fill out forms and stuff for that purpose.
Sounds good. John, I know you're busy. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to visit with us and give us an update on where we are today in the Edward C. Allworth Veterans Home in Lebanon.
You bet. Thank you.
This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Again, don't forget to sign up for the Quiznos Taste on Us sub-sandwich giveaway. $10 gift certificate will be given away at the end of the show. To sign up, simply send an email to dave@kgal.com. Put Quiznos Taste on Us on the subject line. If we draw your name at the end of the show, you will get a $10 certificate. You can use it for whatever you want. You can get a combination of sandwiches, drinks, chips, whatever. Take your good buddy down there and fill him up with Quiznos Taste on Us. Register by the end of the show today, and we'll draw a winner at the end of today's show. So hopefully it's you. Coming up next, we'll be talking to Marie Dodds of Oregon AAA about what's going on with gas prices. Stick around.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Paul from Paul's Computer Repair, and I want to tell you why I'm running for Lebanon mayor. I've lived in Lebanon for 15 years, and I love this town. Like many of you, I'm not happy with the way our officials are doing their job. The high water rates and lack of transparency on the city council are just two examples. We must have more open communications from the mayor and city council. Videotaping every public meeting and posting them for the community online is a must. We also need a safe community. Without this, nothing else matters. We must fully fund the police department, court, and jail. I want to have citizens of Lebanon create a long-term vision for Lebanon. Community input on what we want our town to look like in 10 years. This will help us build a strong economy and jobs while keeping the small hometown feeling. My business and livelihood depend on this. It's time for a fresh new generation of leaders in town. This election can be a turning point in our city's history. I ask for your vote together so we can bring back the town that Friendliness built, a town we can be proud to call home. Find out more at my website, paul4mayor.com. I'm Paul Aziz. I read, paid for, and approve this message.
Huge October closeout going on now at John and Phil's Subaru in Corvallis. Save with Subaru deals at the only Subaru dealer in the Mid-Willamette Valley. From the coast of the Cascades, Corvallis to Albany. From the new compact SUVs to the pet-friendly family wagons and high-performance cars to outdoor sports like skiing and fishing and one of the safest vehicles in the automotive world, all help make Subaru the world's top-selling four-wheel drive vehicle. Buy now during the huge October closeout at John and Phil's Subaru in Corvallis on Highway 99 West at 800 Northwest 5th Street in Corvallis.
Are your teeth loose from gum disease? Are you headed for dentures? Did you know inflammation of infected gums could contribute to diabetes and heart disease? Now there's great news from Dr. Dennis Clark. Dr. Clark's skillful use of laser periodontal therapy will dramatically help hundreds of Mid-Valley patients. Bleeding gums heal, loose teeth tighten, the bone even grows back. Results that amaze Candy Lugo of Lebanon.
I had a problem with my two front teeth. I had a really bad cavity in the front. It was really bad. I was really embarrassed to smile, and came in and he said, "We can fix you up. You can change your whole world around. You did it for me. You do it for anybody."
Simply put, gently applied laser light removes bacteria and diseased tissue, which means less inflammation and a fast, comfortable return to firmer teeth and a normal routine. For a free consultation about the no-cut, no-sew, no-fear solution for gum disease, call the laser dentist. Dr. Dennis Clark in Lebanon at 451-1440. That's 451-1440.
Less hype, just quality news, sports, and smart talk. From your friends at 1580 KGAL.
This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams, and glad you are with us on the show today as I unwrap my tongue and get it going here. Rick Rogers is going to be with us here in just a little bit. Rick, glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Howdy do. Glad to be back.
And Rick is with Points for Profit, where he's going to be talking about the Samaritan Health Living Well Expo, and that's going to be coming up this Saturday at the Heritage Mall.
Absolutely.
What are the hours, real quick? For that?
Oh, okay. The hours are 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock this Saturday. It's free. You can bring the whole family. There's something for everybody to do.
And more with Rick in just a moment. Right now, let's find out what's going on with gas prices. Talking to Marie Dodds, Oregon AAA. And Marie, how you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you, except for I do have bad news to report about gas prices, unfortunately, so that's not so good.
What is the news?
Well, gas prices here on the West Coast, as I'm sure we've all noticed, have been going up in the last week, and we can blame a lot of this on California. We had a situation where we had extremely tight supplies of gasoline in California, and it sent prices up along the entire West Coast. I guess the only glimmer of good news is that while California was looking at an increase of 49 cents in 1 week, our average here in Oregon went up about 8 cents in the week to 4.08. We have never paid more for gas at this time of year, and we've been setting records for the highest gas ever on the calendar day, but not at the all-time high. And I think the encouraging news is that we will see gas prices start to taper off here within the next few days to couple weeks. But it has been a very tough fall for drivers.
Is this because of the blends that California has to have?
You know, that's part of it, and one of the situations is that here on the West Coast, supplies are normally fairly tight anyway, and then when we have refineries that go down for various reasons, it can create very tight supplies, and that's the bottom line here. We had, of course, the fire we were talking about in August at one of the Chevron facilities in the San Francisco area, so that impacted supply. Last week, we had a major facility go offline because of a power outage, and it took several days for that facility, that refinery, to get back online. So last Thursday, we saw record high wholesale prices because fuel buyers were basically concerned about buying fuel. And one of the things with California Gas, as you say, they do have very tough environmental standards for their gasoline. So if California can't produce its own gasoline, it can't simply turn to other states or other providers to get fuel because the fuel won't meet the state specs. So one thing that happened over the weekend was that California Governor Jerry Brown asked the California Air Resources Board to allow refineries to make the cheaper but less environmentally friendly winter blends of fuel. And normally California refineries are not allowed to make this stuff until October 31st. So they got the okay. Refineries can now start making the winter blends of fuel, and that should help ease this very tight supply issue.
What about the unrest in the Middle East? Is that causing any problem in speculation prices? Is that in any way driving up the price?
You know, the interesting thing is that over the last couple of weeks, we've been in a pattern where crude prices have actually been lower. Just a few short weeks ago, we were talking about crude prices approaching the $100 a barrel mark. And in the last week or so, crude has been hovering between about $89 and $93 a barrel. So that's a pretty significant drop in crude prices. And in fact, when we look at the last month, crude oil prices are down about 4%. So had this happened at a time when crude prices were going up, we would have been paying even higher gas prices.
All right. What did the summer traveling look like? As we look back, we had a lot of spikes this last summer, but people were still traveling, weren't they?
They really were, and that's very interesting to see how high gas prices impact travel. And you would think that with gas prices basically at record highs for the calendar day for much of the summer, that it would keep people home, but it didn't. I think it's interesting in that, I hate to say we've gotten used to high gas prices because I think we all still feel that ouch when we go fill her up. But I think people decided that they were going to go on summer vacations and take their trips no matter what. And certainly when gas prices move higher, it means you have less to spend on other things. But I think people made other cutbacks when necessary. And in fact, we did a poll of would-be travelers at the start of the summer, and 2/3 said that higher gas prices would not impact their travel plans. And of the rest who said it would, they said that they would make cutbacks in other areas. For example, look at staying at more moderately priced hotels, eating at more moderately priced restaurants, maybe shortening the days of their trip, maybe not going as far from home. But they were not going to stay home. They were still going to travel despite those high gas prices.
So it may have had an effect, may have had a negative impact on there. There's other areas of the economy, but people love to travel. And I guess in this time of stressful situations, that's a good thing. It's an outlet to get rid of some of the stress. They go out, even if they take like a staycation and go to the Oregon coast. It's an outlet for some of their pent-up stress.
It really is, and Americans have shown over and over again that travel is something that they want to do. There's a resiliency there, and we normally see this. And after there's been a period of less travel, for example, after 9/11 and after the economy crashed in 2008, we do tend to see people do the staycation thing for a year or two. But then after that, they want to get out and travel again, and that's been a familiar pattern several times over the last couple of decades, and we've seen it again the last couple of years where there wasn't as much travel in 2008, 2009, but then by 2010, people started to travel again. And of course, if you do travel, for example, if you fly somewhere, flights these days are jam-packed, and part of that is because the airlines, of course, have reduced the routes, but it's also because people are traveling.
Were you ever a weather forecaster in your broadcast career?
Nope.
Okay, well, put on your forecasting hat and let's look into the winter season of 2012 and as we go into 2013. What are we expecting? And I know there's so many variables out there. One of those is unrest in the Middle East. What are we expecting, at least with what we have on the table now, going to happen with gas prices, diesel prices this winter?
This is going to be very difficult, and as I always say, barring unforeseen events, we do try to predict gas prices, but in reality, it's like trying to predict what the stock market is going to do tomorrow or next week. There are so many variables that our predictions sometimes come true. Here at AAA, I'm proud to say we have a pretty good track record, and that most of our predictions came true over the last year, but it's always very difficult to look into that crystal ball. But let's just use that good old phrase, barring unforeseen events. I do see gas prices finally starting to taper off this fall as the rest of the country starts to switch over into the winter blends of fuel, which are cheaper to produce. The winter blends of fuel alone could take off as much as 10 to 20 cents off a gallon of gas. But at the other hand, we do have things that we don't know about. Of course, crude oil prices, that's a big unknown. What are they going to do? And also violence and unrest in the Middle East. The other big thing to think about is a major storm and/or severe weather. If we see severe weather hit the U.S., for example, and there's a need for heating oil, that can impact oil prices. So there are a lot of unknowns, but I think that barring unforeseen events, we will start to see gas prices taper down, although we will probably still be at record highs for the calendar day for several weeks yet.
Can you generalize and tell us a little bit more about what is the difference between the summer and the winter grades of fuel without getting too technical and too down to the chemical level?
You bet.
What's the difference?
Well, the summer blends of fuel evaporate more slowly in warm weather, so they do cause more air pollution than the winter blends of fuel, and that's basically the simplest way to describe it. The summer blends evaporate more slowly, which gives them a chance to get out in the air more. So that's basically the layman's way of describing it. So the winter blends of fuel evaporate more quickly, and so that's why they are cheaper to produce.
But then, obviously, in winter it's not as warm, and so the tendency for fuel to evaporate because of heat is less.
Exactly.
Is that why they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Marie, is there anything else we need to know about fuel prices as you look into your crystal ball, so to speak? What would you like to tell the folks?
Well, we here on the West Coast have been hit with higher gas prices. Gas prices have been coming down in the rest of the country, and so we're hoping here that that's a situation that will spread. We've got 32 states plus Washington, D.C. that are actually paying less for gas this week than they did a week ago, unlike those of us here on the West Coast that have seen some pretty good-sized spikes. 8 cents here in Oregon, 8 cents in Washington State, and that whopping 49-cent increase in California. So I think that relief is on the way. It's just going to take a bit longer to get here to our neck of the woods.
Marie Dodds, Oregon AAA, thanks for talking to us today on Valley Talk.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And the Valley Talk show will continue just a moment. And in just a moment, we'll talk about the Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo that's going to be happening at the Heritage Mall in Albany. Rick Rogers is live in our studios. And Valley Talk will continue in just a moment. Be right back.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by LiftMaster Garage Door Openers. Use your smartphone to open or close your garage door anytime from anywhere. This is Charles Osgood. Ever hear of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League?
Oh, it brings back such memories.
Mary Pratt, 93 years old, a lefty, pitched a no-hitter for the Rockford Peaches back in '43.
In 1943, as Bill Geist reminds us, newsreels showed major leaguers like Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams, and minor leaguers, too, being inducted into the service. It was World War II.
So it's goodbye baseball and hello Uncle Sam.
But would girls baseball play in Peoria?
Maybelle Blair, 85, pitched for the Peoria Red Wings.
I was a righty, and Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax had nothing on me.
Did you teach them some things?
Oh, my gosh, yes.
More after this. There's an old saying, expect the unexpected. Wise words, like suddenly remembering you left your garage door open when you're halfway to work. With a LiftMaster garage door opener with MyQ technology, you can use your smartphone or computer to control your garage door from anywhere, anytime. And LiftMaster garage door openers with battery backup keep your garage door working even if the power isn't. So be prepared for the unexpected. Learn more and find a dealer near you at liftmaster.com.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
It's a fact of modern life. Switching isn't easy. Your bank, your cable company, your girlfriend. Let's just say each switch comes with a certain degree of difficulty. But switching to Geico, now that couldn't be easier. First of all, it only takes 15 minutes. And just like that, you could be saving hundreds on car insurance. No muss, no fuss, no irate, vengeful, significant others.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Bill Geist was telling us about the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League.
The league started in 1943 when the major and minor leagues were depleted by World War II. It folded in 1954 and was all but forgotten. Until 20 years ago when the hit film A League of Their Own premiered.
In that movie, Tom Hanks played an exasperated coach trying to explain one fine point of the game.
Are you crying? No. There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
There was certainly no crying in Cooperstown recently when 47 of the former league players reunited at the Baseball Hall of Fame to see a permanent exhibit about themselves. How could they cry? After all, they were pros.
You remember how much you were paid back then?
$50 a week.
And that was good.
Good. It was better than milking cows and 40 cents for mowing the lawn.
The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Round up your table partners and stake your table claim for a fundraising good time. Teen Challenge Pacific Northwest invites you to Western Shindig at the TC Corral on Saturday, October 20th, with social hour and dessert silent auction beginning at 5:30, Western barbecue at 6:30, and storytelling by TC Ranch Hands at 7:30. Western attire is encouraged. $35 per seat or $250 for a table of 8 will get you in. Ride on out to 31700 Fayetteville Drive in Shed or call 541-491-1002 for information. What service station in Albany lets you know they want your business? Who cleans your windows every time? Courtesy Corner Shell. They supply non-ethanol fuel for all small engines, boats, and vintage cars, as well as provide full mechanical services by an ASE certified technician with 40 years of experience. To top it off, use your Fred Meyer Rewards card to receive a 10-cent per gallon discount. Get all this and your nitrogen-enriched fuel at Courtesy Corner Shell, near Queen on Pacific Boulevard. They'll be happy to see you.
Beaver Nation, this is Megan McBride, setter for your Oregon State volleyball team.
Megan McBride with the kill.
The Oregon State volleyball season is in full force. Do you have your tickets?
Nassar again from McBride. Side out Beavers.
Purchase your single game tickets today at beavertickets.com. This is Beaver Nation.
The Car Show, Saturday afternoons on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us today, and another beautiful fall day. The rumor has that we're going to have some rain this weekend, so enjoy the sunshine while we have it here on this Wednesday, the 10th day of October. Right now, we're going to talk to Rick Rogers. And Rick, glad to have you with us on Valley Talk once again this week.
I'm glad to be back and talk about the Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo coming up this Saturday at Heritage Mall.
What time?
It'll actually run from 10 in the morning until 7 in the evening, and we have over 80 booths out there made up of commercial booths and nonprofit booths and a little bit of fun for everyone. Continuous entertainment all day long on a special stage we're having set up that is going to be just one thing after another out there going on all day. So come and join us. And that'll be by the way, I need to give the credit where credit is due. That's the Monarch Medical Weight Loss Center stage.
Okay.
That's going to be in the food court.
Who are you aiming this at? A lot of these
families.
Okay, so it's not just the mature audience.
No, and it's not just the mature audience, nor is it just necessarily all health related. When we say Living Well Expo, we mean living well as opposed to living not well. Right. So, and I think I said this last time I was here, who wants to go to a Living Not Well Expo? So we want you to come because we are all aimed at fun. We've got really unique things going on. We have the Bi-Mart Micro Racetrack coming out there, and this is a 30-foot long track with 2-foot long NASCAR-style cars on it, and people can actually sit at a console that replicates an actual interior of a car. And you're there with a full-size steering wheel, and you're racing these cars down the track. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have also slot cars. We have a slot car track being brought in by Step Above Hobbies, and they're going to be setting that up and running that. We've got a chance to get health screenings for people that want to get a health screening. So the Samaritan folks will be there, and they'll be doing all of that. We've got just so much going on, it's hard to name it all.
Okay, let's talk about the slot cars. Is there a cost for that? And
no,
also
no charge. This is a free event.
Line forms here.
This is a free event. Come on out. We've got a lot of great entertainment. We have a 16-foot stage that's being set up inside the food court out there, and we're going to be featuring square dancing with the Square Dance Alliance. These are 4 different square dance groups from throughout the valley. We've got martial arts demonstrations, Albany Civic Theater, High School Musical. Kids will be there to do scenes from High School Musical. Lebanon High School dance team will be out there. We got a fashion show.
Let's start at the top of the schedule. 11 o'clock in the morning, and let's just go down the list.
Oh, sure. Okay, back to Square Dance Alliance. They'll be square dancing at 11 in the morning. At 11:30, we'll have martial arts demonstrations on the stage. At noon, we have the Albany Civic Theater, High School Musical, and Trebulations group there. There's a choral group, and they'll be performing. At 12:30, the Lebanon High School dance team will be on stage. And at 1 o'clock, we have a fashion show by Jockey, which women's clothing. They'll be there, and it's going to be really neat. At 1:30, Cascade Performing Arts, with all the kids will be there on stage, and they'll be doing their routines. Zumba, which was really popular last year. We'll have Zumba demonstrations at 2 o'clock. At 2:30, we're very pleased to have a couple of great performing magicians. John Edsel from Salem and Glenn Bledsoe from Portland will be on stage at 2:30. And then at 3 o'clock, we have the Lebanon Community Choir. At 3:30, we have the Square Dance Alliance back again doing square dancing. More martial arts at 4 o'clock. And then another great local magician, Jeff McMahon, who a lot of us know, who is been very involved in radio here too for many years. Jeff will be there performing. And then at 5 o'clock, we're turning the Zumba people loose again, and we're just going to let them go.
Sure, you want to do that
till their legs fall off. Right, that's it. So I mean,
I don't think
we have a lot of entertainment.
Zumba is very popular. I've talked to women that it's like, I Zumba.
But it's more than that. It's fun to watch. If you have not seen
I have never seen Zumba.
Oh, you got to come. It is the most.
It's dancing to music, right?
Right. It's dancing to music, but it's more than that. It's a high energy dance routines. I mean, this is something you'd almost pay to go see somewhere, you know.
And here you can see it.
And
for
here
free.
you can see it for free. You bet.
Are you going to be doing Zumba?
Sure, I'll be right out there Zooming with all of them. Now, one thing we are doing this year, which is different, is that we do have advanced antique collectors from the area here that we're setting up a table, and if you want, you can bring items to us. We cannot appraise them because we are not appraisers, certified appraisers, but we can evaluate them for you and look and say, yeah, this is pretty neat. This maybe have some value to it. If you'd like us to take a look at those items, bring them. We're going to be looking at things like silver items, small Victorian items. So don't bring this Victorian chest of drawers or something like that. That would be kind of hard for us to do. But we'll be looking at jewelry. I'm looking, personally, I'm going to be doing movie memorabilia and paper advertising collectibles. I have a little bit of expertise in that line. We have someone who's doing rare books. Scott Gibbons from Browser's Bookstore will be there, and he's going to, if you want to bring books and you think that might have some value and might be rare books, he would be glad to take a look at them for you. We have somebody doing toys, sports memorabilia, glass, such as carnival glass and other glass items. So we have experts there from 12 to 3 who will be in the center court at a table there, and you'll be able to bring your items, and we'll take a look at them. There is no charge for that either.
Is there a renewed interest in collectible items, antiques? So Lebanon Chamber had an event the other day.
Absolutely.
We're talking about it again.
Well,
why do you think that is?
Well, I can tell you one reason is just click through your TV channels and see the number of shows that are on TV dealing with antiques, whether it be like a reality-type game show where they have to go out and buy antiques or whatever, or Antiques Roadshow. Certainly, that's one of the big positives for people who want to look at or who have an interest in antiques or are getting interested in antiques, is to watch that show to see what things are worth, because they do have certified appraisers there.
Interesting to have Shark Tank meet collectibles.
Right.
And see what kind of a TV show emerges from that.
But what we're doing again is we have local experts who are not certified appraisers, but they are experts in their field because they are longtime collectors in their field. A good example is my wife, who is here with us, and Karen is she is antique jewelry. She does Victorian smalls. She does silver, and we've got some really interesting folks here who really know their stuff.
Interesting. More with Rick Rogers and the Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo here on Valley Talk in just a moment as the program continues.
Friday at Carmike 12.
Someone is coming for you.
Halloween is coming.
Don't tell anyone.
But let them know about Friday.
Once you see his image, who are you? You unleash his evil.
Sounds sinister.
The ancient church believed he consumes the souls of children.
Daddy, are you okay?
Take the kids. We have to leave here now.
Carmike 12 will help you.
Sinister, rated R, in theaters October 12th.
Friday at Carmike 12.
Protect the security of our fellow citizens.
For the duration of the national emergency,
Society is collapsing. What can be done?
statutes of Directive 10-289 shall remain in effect.
Perhaps Big Brother can help.
All copyrights shall be transferred to the federal government. All wages and other forms of income are hereby frozen.
Atlas Shrugged, Part 2, Friday at Carmike 12, Corvallis.
It's all happening so fast.
I won't be a slave.
The Shed Institute and the Emerald City Jazz Kings opens their 2012-2013 series of concerts in Corvallis, Friday, October 19th, with a new director and a great lineup of popular music and jazz of the 20s through the 50s. First up, The Very Thought of You, a celebration of the music of British composer and bandleader Ray Noble. Join new director Jesse Cloninger and the band with such classics as The Very Thought of You, Cherokee, and The Isle of Capri. As always, the Jazz Kings performance will be unforgettable. The Jazz Kings is a big band of fine Northwest musicians, plus an excellent group of singers. One performance only in Corvallis, Friday, October 19th, 7:30 p.m. at LaSalle Stewart Center. For more information, go to kgal.com or kshow.net and click on the OFAM link or call 541-434-7000. Tickets will also be available at the door. The Emerald City Jazz Kings at LaSalle Stewart Center on the OSU campus.
When you donate your unwanted used car or truck to St. Vincent de Paul, you're likely to maximize the tax deduction you receive. That's because we'll sell your vehicle at our own dealership. So do something nice for yourself and those who benefit from your generosity. Donate your used vehicle to St. Vincent de Paul's Cars for a Cause. That way, everyone wins. We're St. Vincent de Paul, and we're located at 2220 Southeast Pacific Boulevard in Albany, right next to Big 5 Sporting Goods.
A first-class 24/7 fitness facility with the best plate-loaded equipment in the industry. That's Snap Fitness. Always open with keyless access where safety is paramount with videotaping of all activities. They offer free classes of yoga, Pilates, Zumba, and more with each membership. Snap Fitness Albany now has showers for those who like to get a fast workout and head back to work. No contracts are necessary, so enroll now and mention KGAL or K-Show to get 2 weeks free. Enjoy your workouts at Snap Fitness, now behind Richard's Cleaners on Hickory Street in North Albany.
Into the woods and onto the waters. Listen to Northwestern Outdoors, Saturday nights on Smart Talk 1580.
KGAL Radio, this is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. And again, do want to remind you that Vet Talk is scheduled for the second Wednesday of the month. And we will have a Vet Talk show next month. Victor's going to be out of town, but I'll be anchoring the show or some such. But we will have a total show focusing on Vet Talk next month, the second Wednesday of the month. And then going forward, the reason we're not having a Vet Talk show today is because of a scheduling problem with equipment, so we apologize for that. But Vet Talk is continuing here on KGAL. What we're talking about right now is Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo. Rick Rogers is in the studio. As I met Rick, I've been here in the Willamette Valley for about since the first of the year. Rick has had an interesting career in broadcasting, and you worked for Armed Forces Radio?
I did. I started out right here in the Valley on radio for a couple of years before I went into the Army. That was in April of 1964. The Department of Defense sent me back to the broadcast specialist and broadcast journalist schools back in New York. And so I went through both of those schools and then went out with Armed Forces Radio and Television.
Now, the cool thing about working for Armed Forces Radio, I never had the experience, but you get to meet a lot of very well-known people, a lot of celebrities.
Part of my job...
Drop some names.
Yeah, part of my job was to interview celebrities, and I somehow became the celebrity interviewer. And
roll some names off.
Oh, gosh, everybody from Bob Hope to Anne Margaret to interesting people like Roosevelt Greer, who... this was shortly after the Bobby Kennedy assassination and so forth that I interviewed Rosie Greer. We could go on and on. I mean, there's so many, I've lost track of them all.
Let's talk about Rosie Greer. What kind of a guy was he?
A great big guy.
Yeah. Well, what kind of personality? Friendly guy?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful person. Yeah.
Wasn't like a Mr. T.
Yep. Yeah, no, he was...
Crazy fool!
No, he didn't do that. No, he was just very, very, very nice to interview.
Okay. Bob Hope. Tell me about Bob Hope.
Bob Hope, of course, traveled for years and years and years, every year, starting with World War II, entertaining the troops.
And
that was what he always took a big group of other celebrities with him and had a chance to meet him and see him and talk with him. about those early years. It was an interesting conversation.
The question that a lot of people have, are they the same people off mic as they are on mic?
Some are, some aren't.
Okay, well, let's talk. I don't want you to trade too many family secrets here, but...
Well, let me give you a quick example, if I can.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take Anne Margaret.
Let's take Anne Margaret.
I had an interview set up. I was in Korea at the time. I had an interview set up with Anne Margaret, and she was over there with Bob Hope, actually. The week before my interview, she had been scheduled to be on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. She had sent Johnny Carson a note saying, "I'm sorry, I don't do interviews." Johnny Carson.
Okay.
Now here I have an interview scheduled with her. Poor little me. It was I thought, this is going to be a great interview. You know, this is terrific. She won't talk to Johnny Carson. Why is she going to show up for mine? Well, she did. And she sat down and we started talking. And she had a big hit record early in the 60s when I was on radio. I was a radio disc jockey before the Army
in Lebanon, Oregon.
In Albany, actually.
Albany, okay.
Yep. And I started talking to her about her record. It was called "I Just Don't Understand," and that was the name of the song. And she said, "You mean you played that?" I said, "Yes, we did. We played a lot." She said, "Do you know the Northwest and in that area and in Oregon is where that record broke nationally for me. After that, we didn't have any trouble at all." It was a great interview. So I got the interview Johnny Carson did.
Wonder why she didn't want to be interviewed.
I don't know.
Some celebrities, some people...
imagine maybe just too many people were after her. She was really a hot celebrity item at that time to be on everything. So this was, we're talking right after she did Bye Bye Birdie and right in that era.
Interesting. Bob Hope. What kind of a guy is Bob Hope? Same guy off mic, on the mic?
Same
sense of humor.
Yeah, same sense of humor. Okay. He did have a sense of humor. He had obviously been asked every question I asked him before 1,000 times. Still graciously answered all of them, just like it was the first time anybody had ever asked him these questions. So it was a lot of fun, and he was quite surprised that I had dug up a copy from the movie The Big Broadcast. I think it was of '39, in which he did Thanks for the Memories for the first time. Okay. That was where he had first sung that song.
You want to sing it for us?
No.
Okay. Just not an ask.
Nor do you want me to sing it for you.
Nor will I.
So anyway, Bob, he was quite surprised I had dug that up, and we played it on the show that we recorded, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay. So Rosie Greer, Bob Hope, Anne Margaret. You mentioned Helen Hayes.
Helen Hayes.
You actually read some script with Helen Hayes.
Actually, I did. She was visiting, and I met her in her hotel room in the morning, and we spent the whole day. And wherever Helen Hayes went, she always took her trunks of memorabilia with her. And it was kind of fun because we spent the day going through all of her scrapbooks. And she was explaining to me who all these different people were in these pictures she had in her scrapbooks. And then at the end we had, she asked me, she said, "Rick, by the way, would you read a scene with me? I have a favorite scene from a show, and I'd like to do it. Would you read it with me?" Would I read a scene with Helen Hayes?
No, Helen,
I can't do it. Yeah, of course I did.
It's not my contract.
So
what scene was it? What scene was it?
It was just one of those things where it was just one of those wonderful moments that's always stuck in my memory.
Wow.
Cool. It was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of other stories. I mean, we don't have enough time, I don't think, to tell everything that...
we're coming about to the end of the show. Let's wrap it up here. Living Well Expo.
Living Well Expo.
Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo is what I'm supposed to say. And again, the time, date, place for the show.
Okay, it's going to come up this Saturday, and I look forward to meeting everyone out there. Come on out this Saturday from 10 to 7, Heritage Mall in Albany. There is no charge. It's a free expo, and it is suitable for the entire family.
You can drive the cars.
You can drive the cars. You can come out. You can Zumba if you want. I'm sure they actually ask people to come up and Zumba with them.
If they pay you enough money, can we get Rick Rogers to Zumba?
How much money would that be?
Well, let's say somebody said, "I'll donate $1,000 for Points for Profit if Rick Rogers Zumbas.
I think the rest of the Points for Profit staff
would you do it if somebody donated? Would you do it if somebody donated $1,000 to Points for Profit? Zumba.
Sure, you
okay,
bet.
You heard it here.
As long as there's not a time limit on.
All right. Okay.
The Zumba
so if somebody donates $1,000 for Points for Profit, Rick Rogers will Zumba. And we'll be there to video it. So have a good day. This is KGAL Valley Talk. Bye-bye.
Your first choice in local news, sports, and smart talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL.